Thanks, Harry. Well, the first black ever to serve on the Washington State Supreme Court will be sworn in next week. No one concern can win the battle 100%.
I turned 46 yesterday.
Birthday.
Spent my birthday in the motel.
But when leaders in the oil and gas industry saw the original version of the tax plan last fall, it's the density of the old-growth forest that makes spotting the spotted owl a spotty operation at best. An example of just how low the city's source of drinking water really is. That dark line up top. What's the power in words for you?
Being able to understand.
Hope that don't break on you.
The act was intended to stop the slaughter of wild horses by Mustangers, roundups that usually led to the slaughterhouse. But sentiment against the wild horses was strong when the act was passed, and it's grown stronger.
On the market today for human consumption, fat horses are going for about 43 cents.
Millions of barrels of liquid petroleum gas were stored underground in a massive salt dome called Barber's Hill. For over 50 years, it's been mined by the United Salt Company, which for the first time allowed a camera to take the long trip underground deep into the heart of the dome itself. The stability of salt domes is becoming controversial, not only for LPG storage, but for strategies to implant them with radioactive and toxic waste.
Salt is plastic, and the pressure from below and on top will force it to creep, is the term I think that the geologists use.
You hear these people talking about they have a working ranch. They're damn sure right. It's a lot to work to it.
But all this work is not paying off anymore. Texas has the biggest cattle industry in the nation. It used to account for 45% of the state's agricultural income. But most cattlemen haven't seen a profit in 5 years. And after 5 generations of ranching, the Strunk family could be close to hanging up its spurs.
Barely getting by. The cost of everything's gone up so much more than the price of cattle, and it just portions is not there. Everything else is doubled and tripled where the price of cattle hadn't changed that much. Here. Watch you doing that, Tim?
Where you taking him?
Schulenburg, Texas. You want him in your name, Daddy? Yeah. W.E. Strunk.
The proposed White River Dam project, it would create a 13-mile-long reservoir on 3,560 miles of territory, most of which is public land.
The interesting loggerhead issue is that the energy development on the one hand suddenly finds itself grappling with an endangered species issue on the other. Where the compatibility to resolve that question lies, I suppose, is still an open question.
I can not help but feel that any mountaineer who lifts up his eyes to Mount Everest would not experience a significant, stronger force than certainly anything that they have experienced.
You're in your early 50s. Do you think about your mortality approaching this climb?
Well, I could think there could be worse ways to die, that is for certain. An achievement of a lifetime goal. None of us wish to perish, but if it is to be, it is to be.
Whenever I get confronted, I get violent. Violent to the point where I try and get, when it was a confrontation with police or anything, I try and get them to waste me.
The worst guilt Carl bears, the guilt that twists into rage, seems to focus on the fact that he assigned missions. Carl seems to feel he condemned other men to their deaths. The they he speaks of is the military.
I get so frustrated with what I did for them, and yet they don't want to do anything for me.
If you could sum up what you did for them, what part of you gave to them?
Innocence, youth, love for my country, love for other people.
Certain figures can contain power through spirits.
What do the figures mean?
They all have separate meanings. It's a spiritual gift to the ones that own them.
Laura Edwards is Charlie Edwards' daughter-in-law and the family elder.
Our people figured that the children had to be warned ahead for their future, how to conduct themselves and how to treat others.
The Vandergriffs are homeless. This morning they wake on the floor of a neighbor's garage. It's a step up from when they first returned.
Kind of camping out in backyards and at campgrounds here and staying with different people and now living in this one little room.
Me, my brother, my mom, my sister, and my other sister. 5 people.
You can get the feeling from, just the attitudes of others that it's everybody's own fault if they're not working, if they're living on the streets, if they're hungry, and it's just circumstances.
We hope that we get a house pretty soon, and so we can live the rest of our lives normal. This is hard for us.
There are people who need help. Everybody gets down on their luck once in a while. And it's going on every day, and it's going on right here.
Well, you want to guess the height for me? You're saying 250?
250 feet?
240. The Willamette National Forest in Oregon is home to giants.
How old is that one, Greg? What do you think?
I'm thinking
350, 400, yeah.
Yeah.
Private foresters Roy Keane and Greg Hardy are experts at estimating the value of trees. Some are simply priceless.
How much is this tree worth?
About $20,000.
$20,000.
If we were to look at cost of replacement, nobody would be able to afford to buy this tree. We can't grow any more of these trees. This may be the last there is.
Like the trees in every one of this country's 158 national forests, they belong to the American taxpayer, but they are in the custody of the U.S. Forest Service, an agency that has long cultivated its reputation as guardian of the nation's wild lands.
He protects all living things in the forest.
But lately, Smokey's image has been undergoing a change. Why are you doing this interview in silhouette?
I'm just not prepared to go through the potential harassment that I would receive from the Forest Service.
This man works for the U.S. Forest Service. He's been a special police agent for more than 10 years. But like a growing number of other timber cops, he claims millions of dollars worth of public trees are stolen every year, right from under the nose of the very agency entrusted to protect them.